Hello, my lovelies. Hello, good evening. This is your one and only Queen Joe Akilota. Yes, we are back on the topic of how to behave on public transport. We are back on the topic. I'm going to let this populate a little bit while we listen to music, okay? So do not change that dial. And yes, I do not have any rights to any of the music that I play. I do not have any rights to any of the music which is being played on the show tonight. Temitope, hi baby, how are you? Thanks for joining. Give me your unconditional love. Try for that thing. Don't try to change. No. Or tear your brother down. Let him make his mistakes, and he will come around. Hasten just to pray, just to work away. In not everlasting give me your unconditional love. Kind of love I deserve, the kind I want to return. Daddy Robert Abiola, Tuale Daddy Ekalesa, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm going to wait a little bit for the audience to populate, and then we get on with the program. Okay, yeah, thank you so much for joining. Gorgeous, my darling, how are you? I'm waving at you. Miriam Ishola, Abimbola, my darling, my daughter, my one and only, thank you for joining. Yeah, this is a continuation of the program that we had last week. It was, like last week, I couldn't literally write the topic on the screen, and it's just how to behave on public transport. So I'm going to let this populate a little bit more. I'm going to play the music. Please do not change that dial. Thank you. Your unconditional love, kind of I desire, the kind I want to return. Give me your unconditional love, kind of I desire, the kind I want to return. Woo! Give me your unconditional love, kind of why not doing this? The kind I want to return. Give me your unconditional love. Okay, yeah, like I was saying earlier on, it's a continuation of the show that we did last week. It's about how to behave on public transport. This is going to be just a 30-minute time show. I'm literally timing myself. Like I had earlier mentioned, that I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't want it to get boring. We don't want to run out of words. So it's just going to be based on the how to behave on public transport. It's literally a very wide topic. But yeah, I think it would be very, very okay for us to, educate ourselves on how to behave on public transport, no matter where you are, abroad, home, abroad, anywhere you are. There are rules that are put into place that we have to follow to make our journeys pleasant for. So when we travel on public transport, we are inevitably brought into close proximity with people we do not know. This makes us feel very uncomfortable with other people rubbing up to you, okay? It doesn't help that our trains, tubes, and buses are often overcrowded, forcing us to stand uncomfortably close to one another. Even the aeroplanes now are getting more cramped as they produce passenger space by packing more seats into the cabins, okay? So however keen you are to get a seat, do not, let me repeat that, do not elbow your way through the crowds, and refrain from blocking the doors and aisles. Do not elbow your way through the crowds. You might hurt someone's health and safety. And then you have to refrain from blocking the doors and the aisles. It's part of health and safety. Like I mentioned last week, people come in with big, massive luggages, and they do use them to block the aisles and the doors, which is detrimental to other commuters. So please, let's take that in mind. And if you're carrying a bulky bag, be careful not to bump into other people, and make sure you stow it away perfectly, stow it away safely, that nobody can get hurt. We have to respect people's personal space. I know when you're on transport, there's nothing like personal space, but at the same time, we still have to respect every other commuter that is on the bus, train, you name it, okay? So, yeah, these are most of the things that we need to talk about. So I'm coming back to you, okay?
Let's suppose that you're writing a really important...
Sorry about that. So yeah, so I was trying to talk about it's still on transport. We're still talking about transport. So okay, at bus stops, usually, like years ago, they used to do long lines. You line up in front of bus stops. But these days, I see that people just jump right in front of you because they want to get on the bus. And I don't think that is nice at all. So if there is a bus stop whereby you have to line up, please don't jump the queues. Just make sure that you line up and wait for your turn to get onto the bus. Okay? So it does say that do not hold up the line. Always queue in an orderly fashion. Even if you are in a hurry, wait for your turn. Do not push in front of other people. Have your fare ready so you do not hold up the bus. Okay? Some people will come, they get to the bus stop, and what they do is really, really very annoying, because they will come to the bus stop, you're waiting for a bus. Instead of you to get your bus pass ready, you will not do that. You will now start getting it ready when you come into the bus and you're holding the queue. This is not good on other commuters. Majority of the time, we're trying to get somewhere within a specific time break, but because you're looking for your bus pass and stuff like that, it makes it difficult. You make people get to work late and other places late. So please and please, get your bus pass ready, your fare ready. If you're paying with your phone, get it ready before the bus stops in front of you. It's not going to harm you, okay? These are one of the ways of us behaving properly at bus stops and stuff like that, okay? So if you cannot find your wallet or your ticket, step to one side and let others board in front of you while you look for it. Pass through the turnstiles as quickly as possible and do not stop directly in front of the exit door or entrance, as this will disrupt the orderly flow of passengers. Okay, so please and please, my darlings, let's adhere to all these policies. It makes the journey much better and easier for every one of us. Okay, we're gonna listen to some music now, so stay with me, please.
Follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were that someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time, darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it, darling, you look perfect tonight. Well, I found the man, stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share his home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be.
Oh yes, thank you so much for tuning in. Baba Eto Nuruddin, thank you very much for tuning in. Mandy Powell, thank you for coming. Dennis Danny, thank you. Alice Energize, thank you ever so much for tuning in. For the benefit of those of you who are just coming in, we were talking about how to behave on public transport. Okay? So there's another rule. It says keep the music down. Keep your headphones down. Keep it on the low key. Sometimes people come into the buses with their gigantic Beats and nice fancy headphones. Yeah, that's nice. You can listen to the music however you want to listen it out of the bus or out of the train. It's so distractive and annoying when people have their headphones to the highest levels, and the kind of music that they listen to literally makes your ear twitch like this. Seriously, everything about it will start switching on the bus because people are playing loud music. It's not fair on other commuters, okay? So please and please, I have one of the rules in front of me again that says listening to music or an audiobook is a nice way to pass the time on your journey to work. But keep the volume at a level that is only audible to yourself. Try to refrain from talking to people on your mobile phone on public transport. You could do that, but let it not be the voice that you use outside or the voice that you use inside. Like now I'm talking, I shouldn't talk as loud as this on the bus or any public transport. It's not fair on other commuters. If it's absolutely essential to make a call or answer a phone call, keep your voice down and cover the mouthpiece with your hand throughout the conversation. It's not going to remove a member from your body if we could all abide by these rules. I'm telling you. And then when you're on public transport, not just on public transport, anywhere you are, outside the world, anywhere, we have to watch what we say. Under no circumstances is it acceptable to use expletives or foul language. And please remember that your fellow passengers do not need to know the details of your personal life. To be honest, there was a day I said to someone on the bus, because the person just went ranting. And I know I shouldn't have said it, but I said, you know what? Keep your life history to yourself. It's so sad nobody wants to listen to it. And that was the only time that person kept quiet on the bus, because the person just went on and on and on, not putting into consideration other commuters. And I'm so sorry that I said that, but this was years ago. But that was the only thing that kept that person quiet on the bus. So he said, similarly, any phone conversations that require you to divulge personal information such as your address or bank details are best delayed until you are in a more private environment. This is sometimes how people get their money stolen, get their stuff stolen, get people come to your house and harass and abuse you in your house, because we can't keep our private life at home. Private things are meant to be in the privacy of our homes and not outside on public transport. Okay? So we also have to beware of other people's needs. They said in the book of rules, it says sometimes it can seem as if there is an unwritten rule on public transport that you cannot meet the eye of fellow passengers. Go against the grain and make it your mission to notice if someone needs a hand with their luggage or child's buggy. I always make this my responsibility. Majority of people who come onto public transport are the elderly. Sometimes they need help getting off the bus. Sometimes they need help getting on. Sometimes people need help with their luggage. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes the buggy people with buggies do need help too. Always try and lend a helping hand. This is one thing I do not do on public buses. I will never ever sit on seats that are meant for those who are less able to stand. I will make sure that I get a seat that is comfortable, that is meant for we who are able to do other sorts of things and stand and sit and stuff like that. Okay? If you're going on a journey and you have no seat to sit on, it's not a sin. It's nothing sinister. We can stand because we're not going to spend the whole day in the bus. If there is anyone like pregnant women, elderly people, disabled people, people who are literally have crutches with them, just get off the seat. Let them sit down, please. It's not going to remove a member of our body to do this. Okay? And may the good Lord may the good Lord help us while we embark on all these bus journeys, because I do sincerely know that they're not the easiest bit of transport. Okay? So that's what I've just said, that giving up seats to someone who needs it more than you, if there are no other seats available. This includes the elderly and disabled people, as well as pregnant women and those with small children. Okay? So, and it says that while some of us are tempted not to offer our seat for fear of causing offense, it is always better to have the gesture rejected than not to make it at all. Be a gentleman, be a gentlewoman. Give up your seat for those who really need it. Hopefully it doesn't go without saying, but do not sit in designated priority seats, even if they are empty. This is one thing that I have always done. I will never sit in those seats. There is one thing I also notice on the buses. People come onto the buses and they put their feet on the buses with the shoes that you've trod into all kind of dirt, and then you come on the buses and you put your feet on the buses. This is so undone. Seriously. It is so dead. You do not do that. It's not nice for those who are going to sit on that seat. I've said this severally. I've said it before and I'm saying it again. Okay? Okay, so do not eat smelly food on the bus. I'm going to use an example. I know this is not Singapore. This is not China. This is UK, United Kingdom. In Singapore, it is against the law to eat or drink on trains. Culprits could be hit with a $500 fine if they break the rule. Hot food is also banned on subway trains in Washington, San Francisco, and Chicago. And there are calls for other cities, including London, to follow suit. No matter, like, we are in a diverse, it's a diverse country that we are in. We have so many cultures, so many different people, the kind of things we eat. Some, I want to say that one man's meat is another man's poison. Sometimes the spices that we use inside our foods, that we use for food, so many people don't know about them. So when you bring your food into the bus and you put all those your nation's spices in them, the smell alone will alert people, and this is undone. Sometimes you're even having an orange on the bus. You're peeling an orange on the bus. Oranges are not meant to be peeled on the buses at all. Maybe you can have a bottle of water, you can have Coke or something, you can have biscuits, but I don't find eating on the bus suitable for anyone. I can't eat on the bus. If you take one of the bus seats and tap it with your hand, you will see the amount of dust that comes out of it. So I don't know why people would prefer to eat on buses. It's disgusting. No, I wouldn't. I would never eat on a bus at all. So please, let's refrain from all sorts of things that other people will find not pleasant. Okay? So, and it says that such a ban comes into place. Our advice is to use common sense and, as far as possible, try to avoid bringing food and drink onto public transport. Okay? If you do have to eat or drink while traveling on a train or bus, it is best to steer clear of hot liquids and smelly or messy foods such as kebab, rice, noodles, burger, and so on and so forth. They said drinking alcohol is definitely a no as far as public transport etiquette is concerned. Okay? So spare a thought for the environment. Remember that your rubbish is your responsibility. Do not leave discarded newspapers, empty food containers, cans or bottles behind when you disembark at your destination. If there are no bins on board, please take your rubbish with you and dispose of it properly at your earliest opportunity. Okay? So that is all I have regarding transport. That's all I have regarding the transport. And next week we're going to talk about something else. But before I go, let's listen to a little bit of music. Paul Fisher, thank you so much for joining. Shale Abiodun Alajami, thank you for joining. Agbeluyi Abiodun, thank you so much. Joyce Okora, my wonderful sister-in-law, I love you with all of my heart. Thank you so much. Kindest regards to your family. So we're going to go back to the music a little bit and I'll come back and round this up. Okay? Don't go away. Your girl, I see my future. Paul Fisher, in your eyes. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in the dress, looking so beautiful, I don't deserve this. Darling, you look perfect. met her darling in person. She looks perfect. I don't deserve this. You look perfect tonight. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Okay, I'm going to round this up now. I want you to put in the description box, message me what topic you want us to talk about next week. Okay, I want everyone to get involved in this. Give me a topic that we could talk about next week. It's going to be regarding the way we behave in public. It's a better thing for me to do. This is the only way I think that we can learn from each other. So please and please give me a topic of how we are going to of what we're going to talk about next week. Okay, thank you ever so much for joining. God bless you. See you next week. Bye.